what we call, you can do three different things. I use cornmeal in this instance because the maize meal that you have to get is, you can either order it online off Amazon, is probably the best place to order it off on. And I can show you guys what it looks like. Let me see if I open my Amazon. Maize meal. So this is what it looks like. That's what you want to get in order to make this. It's called Iwisa maize meal. It's in South Africa. It's a kind of a porridge, like call it a cereal if you want. But they have other things they do with this, and I'm going to show you guys tonight what we do with that. First of all, that didn't help me. First of all, you're going to have a pot with a little bit of water in it. I'd say about a cup of water. You're going to add a half teaspoon of salt. You bring it to a boil. You can add butter into it if you want. You can add some olive oil into it if you want. I prefer salt and butter. So this is what I'm going to be using as cornmeal. And when I put it in the pot, let me show you guys quickly what it looks like. So I'm literally bringing water to a boil. And for the first one, I don't want to use too much water because it takes the purpose away of what I'm trying to do. The first one I'm going to make is what we call a putu, P-U-T-U, P-A-P. It's called putu pot or putu porridge. It's well known under native people in South Africa. And I'm going to show you how I make this. This is actually pretty easy. So you're going to add it into your pot by just throwing it in there. And then you're using a back of a spoon or whatever, and you're going to stir it a little bit. But you want to do this by scraping it the whole time, like that. So what it does is it forms little crumbs. And you want it that crumbly. That way it gets the effect of what we're trying to do. And like I said, it's called putu. Putu is crumb in South Africa. Once you got it nice and fine or nice and crumbly, you got all the big knots out, you're going to let it sit in. Let me move this one out of the way. You're going to let it sit and simmer for about 45 minutes. Because that's normally when it's fully cooked. Unfortunately with this, it does take a little bit of time to cook. I'm good, Meg. How are you? So after you've done that, we'll put the lid back on and we'll let it sit for a while. And then I'm going to show you guys so that will just sit and simmer. The other one that I'm making, I got a second pot here with water that's boiling. And I'm going to take the other one, the other cornstarch or cornmeal, and I'm going to make a, what we call a, it's the same pottage. You just add a little bit more water to it. But this one, let me show you guys. This one, you sprinkle it in there. You don't want all of it in there, or take all the water out. But you're literally stirring it up. See how sloppy it is? And make sure you turn your heat down. You don't want too much heat with this. I'd say it like to a medium to a 4. But you can put a little bit more cornmeal in if you want. You can put less in. It depends on how mushy you want it. This will cook for about 45 minutes as well. And this is good for breakfast. This one here is very good for breakfast. We used to eat this a lot when we go to school. Mom would put a pot of this on the stove. It will either be like this or it will be a little bit sloppier than this. But that's a good, it's a very good breakfast in the morning before school. And the way it's been served, there are 2 options. You can either put milk and sugar on it, which we commonly use brown sugar and butter, or just regular whole milk. What are you making? This is MB. Wow, MB, how you doing? So that's the first ones. Those 2, you can eat that at any time of the day. You can eat it as a breakfast. You can eat it as a dinner. You can eat it as a lunch, depending on what you feel like. I'm going to show you guys just quickly what can you add to it in order to make a whole meal out of it, like we do in South Africa. You can serve with that. You can serve for like a dinner. You can serve it with a pork chop, lamb chops, or you can even serve it with sausage. Like the way we do it in South Africa, like the second one I made, you make sausage links, and then you make a tomato gravy. And I'm going to show you guys the tomato gravy. You're going to need some sweet peppers, belly peppers. You're going to need some mushrooms. You're going to need some diced up tomatoes, and a little bit of garlic and some olive oil. So I got some prepared here. I'm going to show you guys how to make that. Please mail me some. Okay, Ann. So just for those who joined in, I'm doing this is the cooking show with OG Dolphin Danie, making South African dishes, just because people is not always aware of what people eat in other countries. So that's why I'm doing this show, trying to educate people on what people eat in other countries. And what I've been doing, I made two pots of what we call pottage, which consists out of, in this case, corn maize or cornmeal. You want some maize meal, and you can get it off Amazon. It's called iwasa. You can get it from there. It works better than cornmeal. Unfortunately, I couldn't get some, so I used cornmeal. Iwasa, yeah. So I'm going to show you guys the tomato gravy that I'm going to be making. And this is really fun because some people like it salty. Some people like it sweet. You can add whatever you want. Me personally, I kind of like it a little bit sweet. But in order to make it sweet, I use brown sugar and not regular white sugar. So the brown sugar that we use It's a little bit, let me show you guys. It's a little bit sticky to each other, but it's also, it's raw brown sugar with the bigger granules, but they a little bit sticky. Sweet and salty, yep. So I'm gonna add like 2 teaspoons of sugar, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it over there. There we go. All right. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. See? So I've got my mushrooms in there. I got my belly peppers in there. I got the green, orange, and red ones. Then I also have tomato that's been diced up, and then the brown sugar on top. And you can add a little bit of water in it just to make it cook. But the tomato and the mushrooms and the peppers will create their own sauce. So you don't want to put too much water in there. You just want to put a little dash in there to get the thing going. Now, while that is cooking and on the go, I'm going to show you guys what I do with the hamburger, because you can also use hamburger with the crumbed one that I made the first time. And I'll show you guys. I kind of like hamburger a lot. Thank you for this gift, guys. I like the hamburger quite a lot because you can do so much with it. I'm just stirring this other pot again. That way it doesn't burn. You want to stir it like every 5 or 10 minutes. The more you stir it, the more crumblier it gets. And it gets a chance to cook thoroughly just because it's so loose. So, having done that, all right, so that will continue to cook. All right, so the hamburger, I have half a pound of hamburger. I put some garlic sauce in it, or chopped up garlic, and I'm going to bring that to heat and kind of just let me show you guys. So I've got the hamburger, and I use this side of my spatula, and I'm kind of just breaking it up. You can see how the tomato is already going, the gravy. And you keep doing this too with the hamburger until it's nice and loose. And while it's cooking, you do that too. That way it gets nice and brown everywhere. This will cook very quickly because of I got it on high heat. He needs a camera. I love that. And thank you. We're cooking with OG Dolphin Danie. We are making South African dishes. I'm trying to get a feature show on here and help people understand what other countries are doing regarding food. Because I've had that questions before. What do you eat? How's food different from America versus South Africa, for example? Unfortunately, you cannot get everything over here that we do have in South Africa. There is a South African website, and I will probably put that website in my Instagram that you can click on, and you can order it off that website. So it's not to say that you cannot get it. You can. It's just a matter of fact of ordering it. Moe, alert. So we're gonna keep that going. That's cooking really good right now. Okay, I'll be over to test after the show. Yes, Jay. I'm always looking for people to taste. They say the proof is in the pudding. That's a well-known saying in South Africa. Is the proof is in the pudding. Last Sunday, you guys missed out. For those who were not here, I made a curry and rice, which consists out of rice and hamburger like this, that I put some vegetables in it, like potatoes and peas and onion, mushrooms, and I added some curry powder to it, and you let that sit and cook for about 25, 30 minutes. You put it on the bed of rice. And in South Africa, they call that curry and rice. That was really good, though. The best thing about curry and rice, it's always good like after a day after. Welcome everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are cooking with OG Dolph and Danie. We are cooking some South African dishes. To recap, while this is going, I have hamburger here, which I'm preparing right now. I have some mushrooms, belly peppers, there's 3 different colors, with some tomato, some garlic, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Over here, I have what we call crumbed porridge or maize meal. And over here, I got a more stiffer one. I don't know how else to put it. But this one is classified as like a breakfast. Commonly breakfast for this one, which you eat with milk or sugar, or you can eat it with milk and butter. And I'll show you guys how it's prepped once it's all done. The hamburger is going to be, once it's all cooked and I got all my stuff in it, it's going to be put on top of the crumbed one. You can also put it on this one if you want, it doesn't matter. Porridge, yep, porridge. We also commonly serve, you can make lamb chops, you can make pork chops, you can have sausage that you can use as meats that you can add to either one of these two, it doesn't matter. Now, traditionally, we have lamb chops or pork chops with the tomato gravy and that one, the crumbed one. That's the tradition. Or they have sausage or lamb chops that's in a separate bowl or a separate plate, with that one served with milk or sugar, or you can have butter and sugar. You can serve it any way you want. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so on the meat, I'm going to add some potatoes. I'm going to add some beans, some baked beans. You're making me hungry. And then I have a special ingredient, guys. How many of you guys has cooked with Jello, or not Jello, jelly? How many of you guys have cooked with jelly? No? Apricot jelly. I commonly cook chicken with this, hamburger. It just gives a nice taste to it. So I'm gonna put some spices on there. Again, all-purpose spice for the hamburger. And I'm gonna just sprinkle that over there. You can use as much as you want. I don't eat very spicy food, so I don't use a lot. Again, I'll show you original from Kingsford, original all-purpose spice. You can use it on anything you want. And then my secret apricot jello, or jelly, sorry, my bad. And I would put about 2 to 3 tablespoons in there. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Watching you from Philippines. Well, welcome, Philippines. Glad to show you here. See the apricot right there. And I'll let this cook. You want to watch this because this jelly, it will cause it to burn onto the pan. You don't want to, if you add that, you don't want it to be on too high. You want it to go to medium so it can just simmer. But I'll mix this all together. Yes, they are baked beans. They are baked beans. Can you see how that dissolved so quickly? All right, we're gonna leave that for now. Let that sit for a little bit and simmer. I'm gonna put this to, something is burning. What the fuck is burning? Oh no. I'm gonna put this on a medium heat. And we're gonna go to our gravy again. Okay, Jay. I forgot. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the reminder. All right, so we want to continue to cook that. Let's see how our porridge is. Ooh, that's nice and crumbly. See that? The more you stir it, the more crumbly it gets. And you kind of want to get rid of the big clumps. But you just keep on doing this, just stirring it with the backside of a spoon or a wooden stick. You can use, you get those, you can go on Amazon, you can buy just the handle stick thing. And you can do that too. Or just wooden spoons will work too. You use the backside of a wooden spoon. Can you see the little bit of cornmeal I used? Look how quickly it's swelled up. See how much is in there now? There's quite a lot in here, isn't there? Dupe Haller. Again, for those who just joined, welcome to the cooking show with original Dolphin Danie. And we are cooking South African dishes. The one I'm doing right now is a corn meal, or you can use iwasa or iwisa, sorry, my bad, that you can order off Amazon. And there's two ways of making this. You can either do a crumbled like this, or there's a lot of steam. You can make it a little bit stiff like this. See, it's not as crumbly, but this is more commonly used for breakfast or for that gravy that I'm making over there. And then we got our gravy. And our gravy consists out of tomato, sweet bell peppers. I got a green one, a red one. There's an orange one in here somewhere. Some mushrooms. A dash of water. You don't want to use too much because the tomato and the peppers are going to create their own. Oh. Don't worry, guys. The house is not on fire. Let me just shut that thing up. All right. Sorry about that. Live and then investigating, right? So I have the tomato, the mushrooms, and the peppers are creating their own sauce. So you don't want to use too much water in it. So while I'm having that going, I also have a hamburger dish going that's going with the porridge or the maize meal. And what I have in here is potatoes, baked beans, hamburger, garlic, olive oil, some spices, and then I also have apricot jelly in here. Break those potatoes a little bit smaller. You can use apricot jelly in any dish. You can use it on chicken. You can use it on steak as a marinade. And I love to make my own marinades, and I'll show you guys. I never go off a book. It's always it does give flavor to the meat, Jamin. Very true. I also have a little treat. So in South Africa, we also, you guys know it very well over here too, but South Africa, it's very common to do stuffed mushrooms, potbelly mushrooms. And this is what they look like when they are stuffed. Now this one has shrimp with cheese. Oh my God. So I got this on an oven tray. There's about 7 of them. They're easy to make, guys. You use shrimp, little baby scampi shrimp, and you don't cook them beforehand. You chop them up raw. Then you do cream cheese, and you mix the two together. And after they mix together, you use the mushrooms, take the steel out, and you can do what you want. What I normally do is with that stool, I usually chop them up and mix them in with the cream cheese and the shrimp, and then I stuff my mushrooms with them. Mwah! Fucking delicious. I mean, ducking delicious. Let me get the oven going. We're going to do that at 350 Fahrenheit. Just strike two. 350 Fahrenheit. There we go. And then you want to let that go. Okay, let's put this down a little bit. I'm turning the heat down on these other ones. I want to turn the heat down on the hamburger because that's almost cooked. 30 minutes. These potbelly mushrooms, you don't have to do them longer than 10 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. It's a little snack to eat just before you dish up your main meal. We do that a lot in South Africa. Okay, shall we recap again? For those who are just joining, we are cooking with OG Dolphin Danie. We're doing South African dishes. The dish that I'm making tonight is two different types of porridges. Although they're the same ingredient, maize meal, or Iwisa, IWISA, maize meal that you can order off Amazon. And by making the first one that I make, you add a little bit of water, and you add about 3 or 4 cups. Iwisa, thank you, Anne. That you add, you bring the water to boil with some salt and some butter. You can use olive oil too if you want. Once you bring it to and you use the backside of a spoon and you just keep stirring it. Put it back on medium heat and just keep stirring it. Every 20 minutes or so, you keep stirring it. So it's nice and crumbly. You want that crumble texture. The second one I made is like a breakfast porridge, also with maize meal. You can use the Iwisa for that too. You make it a little bit more stiffer, so you add more water and not as much maize meal to get you that little stiff texture. And you can either serve it with a tomato gravy, which we are making, or you can serve it with milk and sugar, or you can serve it with sugar and butter. It doesn't matter. Porridge thickness, there you go. And then we make a tomato gravy that can go with either one of those porridges. And then I'm also making a hamburger dish that can also go with one of those porridges. Commonly, we use other meats instead of hamburger. You can use pork chops, lamb chops, sausage. Sausage you can use you can use links, you can use the baby sausages, you can use like they know here in America, they well known as bratwurst. So you can use anything. Now, interesting fact, while this is cooking, the native people in South Africa, the nice thing that people don't know about the native people in South Africa, they will cook a pot with the crumbed one that I made, the first one, and they'll cook for meat, they'll cook chicken legs. They'll have a separate pot with just chicken legs in them, or chicken feet. And they'll put a little bit of curry with it, and they'll literally sit and eat it with their hand. That's how they eat it. Chicken feet and crumb porridge. So that's one of the traditions too, back in South Africa. It's cool on the feet. What do you mean? Oh, you're cool on the feet? Well, I didn't say you gotta eat it. I don't like chicken feet either, hello? chicken. Chicken feet taste like chicken. It's like wings, for example. They just got less meat. That might be a little much for me. I'm not lying when I say they literally taste like chicken. They just doesn't have a lot of meat on them. But those bones on the feet cook so soft that they literally eat it. They eat the whole feet. I'd have to bleach them first. Okay, I get it. Welcome everybody, welcome. You are cooking with OG Dolphin Danie. We're doing South African dishes. Tonight, we are doing what we call porridge or maize meal. This is a crumbed one. You can see how crumbly it is. I love it. I love the texture of that. Really, really, really good. This one should be close to ready. So I got the heat turned on that. Then we're doing a more solid one. Same ingredient. Just I didn't add as much water in it, and we don't stir it as much. Then we're doing our gravy. I need to add a little bit more water in here. Hold on. So we'll add some water in here. And press. It does look bomb, doesn't it? I'm gonna add some water in it. That way I can cook a little bit more. And then we have, I love my hamburger, guys. I do. I can't find lamb chops here. If I do, they're super expensive. I used to get some from a guy in Fargo when I lived in Fargo. Unfortunately, I'm not in Fargo anymore, so I can't get it. And I don't know people here that would be able to sell me a half a lamb or that I can cut up in chops and stuff. Pitchy. So let me show you guys what the hamburger looks like. Eva, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Empress, thank you guys. Appreciate it. So this is what the hamburger looks like. I've got some potatoes, beans, garlic. And I also have apricot jelly in here. You can literally use apricot jelly for literally anything. You can use it for chicken. You can use it on steak. It just gives the food extra flavor. A little bit of a sweet flavor. So the hamburger is ready. The potatoes are ready. That's all good. And then we got our tomato soup or a tomato gravy going here. I've got some brown sugar in this, about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I got belly peppers, sweet belly peppers in here. I got mushrooms, I got onions, and tomato. And you'll leave this until it's nicely cooked. It's pretty much cooked. I just want that gravy to go a little bit more. And then we have our oh, look at that. You guys can smell this. This smells fucking divine. I mean, divine, ducking divine. Really ducking divine. Okay, so Eva, the crumbly stuff is what we call a cornmeal. Cornmeal. You can use that instead of iwisa, and iwisa is literally a maize meal that you get in South Africa. You can buy it off Amazon. This is what it looks like. Iwisa maize meal. The only difference is the cornmeal is yellow and this is white. But they taste the same. It's the same thing. All made out of corn. Do you use wine for cooking in South Africa? Yes, we do. Commonly, it's a sweet wine. There are some people that use like a dry white wine or a dry red wine. Me personally, I won't cook with that because it gives it a bitter taste. But sweet wine, yes, you can. If I don't use apricot, jello or jelly, then I use grape, like a mixed grape. So for those who just joined, welcome to the OG Danie Dolphin cooking show. We are making South African dishes on here. I'm going to dish up this one quick. That way you guys can see what the final product looks like. How many minutes do I have, Jay? How many minutes do I have left? You came late too. So I'm going to dish this up quick and I'll let you guys see what it looks like. So I'm putting a bed of that crumb porridge on top. And then I'm going to use my tomato gravy. 45 minutes. Okay, yeah, as long as we're under an hour, we're good. You have hour and 15. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. So this is what it looks like when you dish it up. Maize, that crumb one with the tomato gravy. Oh, and this is literally mwah, mwah. It came out perfect. I'm going to show you guys a second way of doing it. I'll just do a little sample here. Turn that down, turn that down. That way we don't burn stuff. So the hamburger that I made, that's what it looks like. On top of the first crumbed porridge. Wait, I'm not done. I'm going to show you guys more. There's more ideas. But first, we're going to taste. So, more tasting, guys. More tasting. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got to have another bite. Mm. Jay, no, because you can get smaller packages too, but yeah, it's 19. You can cook this whole meal, depending on meat, obviously, is very expensive. So, depending on what type of meat you buy, I'd say you can make a whole meal for a family of 4 like this. You can do for about $80, 80 to $100. If you grow your own vegetables, then you can do it for a lot cheaper. But meat is the expensive one. That's where the problem. I mean, look at meat now. You buy this hamburger is literally almost $16 for 1 pound of hamburger. Or no, half a pound. Let's see it. Now this was 2 pounds. 2 pounds of hamburger. If he needs to go 15 minutes over, he can. Okay. Well, we started late, so I want to show you guys the other way of having this dish, this crumble, and this is my utmost favorite. Very, very, very authentic in South Africa. South Africa will tell you this is not a meal if you can't have it this way. I'm putting some in a bowl. I'm going to get my brown sugar. You can have it with white sugar too if you don't like brown sugar. What's the origins? People from Holland, Netherlands used to make some of this stuff too. South Africans just went and made it more South African. But these are all South African dishes. So I put some brown sugar on top, and here comes the kick. And I know a lot of people don't like this, but milk. You can use any milk you want. You can use almond milk. You can use whatever you want. But Danie uses whole milk. It's very cheap to make. Very, very cheap to make. And you eat it like a king. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yes, Eva. But in this case, it's just cooked. Jay, I said that because it's solely off meat prices. And, you know, in South Africa, you can get meat a lot cheaper. In South Africa, I can make this whole dish for like $20. And you can choose what you want. Yeah, easy, Dave. depending on what meat you buy. If you're going to use bratwurst or sausage, you can do it for a lot less. You can do it. You can still do it under $20. The cornmeal, you're not going to use all of that bag, so you're going to get like 4, maybe 5 dishes out of one bag like that. It depends on how lean the meat is. So there's a lot of factors that you can look at to make it a lot cheaper. Might as well go out on it. What? Let somebody else serve it for you? Chorizo. What's chorizo? I'm not familiar with what chorizo is. Mexican meat? You can. I don't know where to find it though. Any grocery stores? I just know meat is very expensive. Literally for a pack of 5 lamb chop or pork chops, and they're not even very big, was like $22. So they are expensive. I will, Jamin. So, to conclude, this was a cooking show with OG Danie. I made 3 different dishes by using the same ingredients. And you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can alternate it the way you want. It doesn't matter. Coming here. And I hope you guys have a delicious feasting evening. Voila. I can. Emoji J is recording these shows, so it will be posted on YouTube, I think, right, Jay? Mm-hmm. Write that down, guys. YouTube.com /Emoji J. Taiwan alert. Jay, I'm not gonna lie. It's the first time I've ever done this. It's a whole different story when you try and do it as a show. But I think it's necessary. All right.